Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this one I have the pleasure again to have Vays. Tone, thank you for being here. How are you?
Thank you, Carolina, for having me back on. I'm good. Down in South Africa, I got pretty far away from the craziness of Europe and the US. I'm
That's
sure
smart.
you're doing something similar down in Buenos Aires, but you're also kind of far from the infection, so that's good.
Yeah, it's crazy what's going on and no one could predict that something like this was going to happen. However, you, Tone, were able to predict this price level before the halving, and that is the first question that I have for you. When no one was expecting this to happen, uh, on what fundamentals was your prediction based exactly?
Yeah, so obviously I did not see this virus and pandemic coming either, but I've been skeptical on the price of Bitcoin over the entire 2019 from
Mm-hmm.
both fundamental and technical perspectives. It just did not make sense to me for Bitcoin to go up to 14,000 and then again to 10,000 earlier this year. It was just, I did not see any kind of mass adoption. I've been watching more people leave the crypto space than enter it over the last year and a half. The technical analysis that I usually do to guide me was just completely out of whack. And Bitcoin, while it was sitting at a nice high price, I was always concerned. I was always worried that the slightest sneeze and the price of Bitcoin crashes down pretty badly. And that's exactly what happened. In this
Mm-hmm.
particular case, the catalyst was the coronavirus and the big slowdown in global economic activity, but it really could have been anything. It's also possible I could have been totally wrong, and Bitcoin would have, held through it if the stock market would have continued on to new all-time highs, and Trump gets reelected very quickly and drops taxes, and everything is hunky-dory, and the relations are good between China and the U.S. and everybody. That could have left Bitcoin in that $10,000 area, pushing to new all-time highs for the halving. But the Bitcoin ecosystem is so fragile, so fragile. And I thought it was going to go down on its own, but any kind of catalyst like we had just completely crashed the price. So I am not surprised with what happened.
Okay. And for the halving, what are you expecting now that this happened to happen right before and after? And besides that, what are the factors, the macroeconomical factors that, or political factors that we should be paying attention to during the whole 2020 to see how the price could behave? In your
Look, the biggest thing is the global economy and the
Yeah,
stock market.
yeah.
If if the stock market starts to recover, if people start coming back to work, if people start making money again, Bitcoin will do fine. But if this continues, if the U.S. can't contain the infection, if Europe can't contain the infection, it just gets worse and worse and worse, then Bitcoin can still go to new lows. I think it's
Mhm.
unlikely. I think that the low of 3,800 is going to be the low for the year. Now, it's possible for it to go lower. I'm already, mentioning it to friends and family that, hey, if you missed out on buying Bitcoin the last 11 years, don't miss this one. This year is the year to buy it, even if it does go lower, even if it does lose another 50%. You're pretty limited on how much lower you can actually go from here. I can't picture Bitcoin going below 2,000 at this point. And you don't want to also miss out, because if the global economy starts to recover, it's if the projections are true and the worst of the coronavirus is going to be like early to mid-April,
Mhm.
then everything will go back to normal and we can start to recover. So it's hard to say how Bitcoin will fluctuate over the next few months. I think we will be in this, you know, $4,500 to $5,500 zone going into the halving. After the halving, it can honestly dip in either direction. And like I wrote in my blog post the first week of January about my 2020 outlook, I anticipated Bitcoin to spend the majority of the year below $10,000.
Mhm.
That's exactly what I still expect. We can spend the majority of next year between 10,000 and 20,000. And then in 2022, we can start considering new all-time highs. Now, again, we will need new people coming into Bitcoin. And right now, I don't see anyone. I still see more people leaving the space than coming in. Not to mention, more and more people are giving up on Bitcoin and starting to scam people with their own printed money. So as long as that trend is still popular, Bitcoin has no space in the global financial system.
Yeah, thank you, Tone. I think we're going to see all-time highs again, end of 2021 or 2022. I agree with that. So last question, recommendation for people who are still here, who want to stay. I think it's very important to hear from people who have been in the space for many, many years and who have been through this many times. Listen to the message one more time and go back to basics, study the fundamentals, right?
Yeah,
What do you think?
this is a good time to start your dollar cost average strategy. I think it's a good one to use if you're not a trader and you're not looking to learn how to be a trader. Just dollar cost average. Just buy a little bit every month. Make sure it's literally little, something that you can afford to lose. Be responsible and go from there. But understand why you're buying into Bitcoin. If you're buying into Bitcoin to get rich, you will probably be grossly disappointed, like the majority of the people have. But if you have a longer term time horizon, if you want to, take take advantage of independence in your financial life, if you want to start using politically neutral money that would benefit everyone around the world, start looking into Bitcoin and check it out. And definitely keep reading and learning why it's so valuable.
Yeah. Thank you, John, so much for being here once again. And I really look forward to, yeah, see what happens in the near future and maybe see you again during 2020 in any conference.
Let's
Maybe
hope.
everything will be back to normal
Let's
a little
hope.
bit.
Let's hope. You got to come to understanding Bitcoin in Malta. We moved the date to October.
October.
Understanding Bitcoin. Yeah, it's a little bit more tech inclined, so it'd be perfect for you.
Sure. I'll do my best. Maybe we can do like a video covering the event for the Spanish speaking community or something like
That
that.
would be excellent.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Tone. Have a good trip.
Thank you. Thank you. Stay safe.
Bye bye.